The sport of modern horse racing, as we know it, goes back to the early 17th century. But in fact, competitive horse racing is one of humankind's most ancient sports, having its origins amongst the prehistoric nomadic tribesmen of Central Asia, who first domesticated horses about 4500 BC. For thousands of years, horse racing flourished as a sport of kings and nobility. Modern horse racing, however, exists primarily because it is a major opportunity for the racehorse to compete on the world stage as a parallel medium of sporting business. The English Derby, now sponsored by locally founded Investec Bank, tells the story of Lord Derby and Lord Bunbury's coin toss, which caused the running of the world's most famous horse race, the Investec Derby. The history is rich, deep and fascinating, and would take considerable time to relate. But suffice to say that today the sport has become a big business, filled with many riveting stories of great intrigue. The breeding of the racehorse is not an exact science, but it is a business of meticulous planning, often beset with luck and misfortune alike. They say that in an ideal world, you breed the best to the best and hope for the very best. There are many stories of freak racehorses evolving from modest and humble beginnings. The converse is also true of royal bloodlines, which sometimes failed to produce the desired result. Ultimately, ordinary people with ordinary horses can find themselves in the most illustrious company almost by chance. A racehorse starts his career as a maiden and usually runs against horses of the same age and sex until such time as it has won a race and moved up the divisions to a point where he or she may even compete against each other in open contests where it is not uncommon for the best filly to be able to beat her male counterparts. Although it is rare, it is fair to say that a really good filly is worth her weight in gold, as was the case in the 2011 Vodacom Durban July, South Africa's most heritage-filled and famous thoroughbred horse race. In brief, a horse usually progresses from a maiden to a graduation and then to a novice plate, after which it may compete in merit-rated races according to weight benchmarks and limitations. The ultimate prize is Grade 1 status and the associated black type that goes along with it. The owner or trainer purchases a horse at an auction sale or from the farm directly, depending on the arrangement between the breeder and the owner-trainer. Once the horse has been paid for, it goes into training where a monthly fee is charged to the owner or owners. The trainer is required to obtain an authority to act from the owner in order to nominate the horse into a race. Once the horse is entered and accepted into a race, the trainer engages the services of a jockey. There are freelance jockeys and contracted jockeys who normally ride all the horses in a yard if so required. Freelance jockeys, conversely, normally have agents who attempt to acquire the best possible ride for their jockey. Each race has prize money associated to the grade of competition, and as in the sport of golf, horses are penalized in a handicapping system according to the level of their performance. A golfer receives fewer strokes as he climbs the ladder of success. So too is a horse required to carry more weight accordingly in order to afford lower-rated horses a chance of winning. It therefore becomes an art to select the right horse in the race based on his or her credentials and appropriate handicapping. The greatest races for the purist are weight-for-age races, just as in an open championship in golf, where the horses are handicapped according to their age and sex as opposed to their race figure. Owners are scrutinized by the National Horse Racing Authority for creditworthiness and conduct and are duly afforded racing colours. The purpose of these colours is to be able to identify the horse in a race, both for the race caller and fans alike. The sport has great public appeal, both locally and internationally, and the proceeds of betting profit are ploughed back into the sport to provide stakes for which to compete, as well as funding for research. Research is critical for the development of a cure at best, or prevention of African horse sickness, a disease that has long been misunderstood by the regulators of global transport and administration. Just as South African fans enjoy watching overseas horse racing, so too do their fans enjoy watching our product. In a reciprocal exchange of intellectual property, we are able to benefit from other time zones, providing us with longer periods of entertainment and betting opportunity.
Breeders' Cup Classic. Gates open, fields sent on their way to the roar of the Santa Anita crowd. Go between
The commingling of our totalisator is a massive breakthrough in respect of generating offshore revenue when we are not racing or unable to race due to poor weather or technical malfunction. As a result, the tote pools have grown significantly, and as the credibility of our horse racing has been accepted by international fans around the globe, the footprint of Teletrack Channel 232 on DSTV Bouquet is now significant and reaches over 20 million viewers a day. Whilst the coverage afforded this magnificent sport is virtually wall to wall, there is nothing quite like being there. It makes me realize why the unit of power on earth has been and will continue to be measured in horsepower as long as humankind exists.